Welcome back to Extra Time, week 2 of a show dedicated to all things World Cup. Ahead, another college coach in studio, her analysis on point. Also, a Monday match shocking the world. Will it affect the betting markets? But first, a different scene today at Houston's FIFA Fan Festival. Here is a live look showing it is closed. Shut down for the day because of the weather, of course. That announcement made yesterday by the host committee. Still no word on tomorrow's event. Here's the scene earlier from the ground. Houston area seeing heavy amounts of rain most of the day, triggering those flash flood warnings. And all of this much different than what we saw there Sunday, with fans sporting all kinds of jerseys, watching the games on the big screens. But of course, that was when the skies were clear. The host committee also thinking ahead now to our next game in Houston and what those fans should now be thinking about.
We would encourage people, if going to the match on Wednesday, to have a plan, to know before you go, to monitor our websites and all the different websites available for public safety purposes, and arrive early. That's really the main thing, right? To ensure the best way into the match.
Good advice there. And for those who still want to be part of a crowd for the rest of tonight's action, there's always options. With watch parties on your screen, including Pitch 25, Axelrad, Levy Park, several more. Complete list is on khou.com. Now, the biggest World Cup surprise in a long time. Spain, number 2 in the world. Scoreless draw against little Cape Verde. This despite dominating the stats. Spain controlling 74% of the possession, 92% accuracy on passes to go along with 7 shots on goal, and yet nothing. Here is the main reason why. Cape Verde's keeper, Vozinha, 7 saves, including 2 monster ones within the 39-minute mark. That goalie, by the way, is 40 years old. He's been playing for the national team since 2012. In fact, Spain, so frustrated by its lack of scoring, had to bring in its young phenom, Lamine Yamal, the 18-year-old coming back from a hamstring injury. Spain probably wanted to rest him, but instead makes his World Cup debut in the 71st minute. Cape Verde ranked 67th with a shocking result today from Atlanta. On to the U.S. now, and the man of the match from Friday's exciting win, Folarin Balogun, with 2 goals and all-around solid play. Who saw that coming? How about Danesha Adams, the coach at Texas Southern? Here's what she told us before that game.
I think he's had a really good season this year at Monaco, and I think he played really well, scored some goals, and I just think he's going to bring something that the U.S. hasn't had in a while, and that center forward striker. He is a true out-and-out center forward, right? Going to get in behind, really good with his back to goal. So I do think if we can link in with him with Wes McKennie and Christian Pulisic, if they can find him, we're going to be successful. I think if we turn it into an individual game, we're going to be in trouble. I think if we can find him and find his feet and allow him to play make, he's going to cause a lot of problems up top.
Oh, yeah, and he caused a lot of problems in that first match. Now he's the front runner for the Golden Boot. What else did Danesha have to say? It is now time for the kickoff from her recent visit to the KHOU 11 studios. And right now, we are kicking things off with Danesha Adams, head soccer coach at Texas Southern. Good to see you. What have the past few weeks been like for you preparing to see World Cup action as a former player who's worn the red, white, and blue?
It's been amazing. I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, to be here in Houston and be able to watch some games here, it's going to be really, really exciting. I mean, I wasn't quite into soccer as much as I am now when it was back here in '94. I think I was only 8 years old at that time, right? So now just really looking forward to it and excited to see what our U.S. team can do.
So we will get to those Houston matches in a moment, but first let's start with this. Your favorite match overall in pool play. Which one are you looking forward to watching?
I think there's a couple. My favorite one I think is going to be the Portugal game because I just think Cristiano Ronaldo in his last World Cup potentially and just the young players that are coming up in that program, I think are going to be really exciting. But I think also just Colombia always has a little flair, just a little bit something special, sneaky. Every 4 years they do. So I'm excited for this matchup because I think it's just going to be an interesting one. Local rival, just kind of a lot of animosity, good fans. It's going to be fun.
And are there any other ones that are perhaps on your radar?
And then the last one for me is Norway versus France, right? You have the favorites in France.
Write it on the board. Come on, make it official. France and Norway. Listen, it's not official until you write it down. So France and Norway, certainly the fans, right? That's certainly a big thing.
I mean, especially here you have the Ballon d'Or winner and Dembele, and here you have the big man up top, right? You have Erling Haaland. So I think there's going to be a lot going on just within these three teams here. You're going to have some really, really big names that are playing, which I think is going to mean a lot of excitement for all the viewers.
Mention to us a player you have your eyes on, and there he is, Ousmane Dembele from France. Why is that?
I mean, he just brings a lot of flair. I mean, he just won the Champions League with PSG. He just won the Ballon d'Or. He's up for the Ballon d'Or again this year. I just think, everyone's kind of looking at Mbappe, but I think for him, he's just going to bring a lot of flair, a lot of tenacity, just skillfulness on the ball, creativity. He's just someone that I think is going to give us a show, and really, really excited to see.
A player that may have to elevate his game knowing all of the attention is on that other guy?
Absolutely. But I also think for him, he's had the best season right now, right? Coming off the Ballon d'Or, like I mentioned, Champions League. So now I think with Mbappe having moved to Real Madrid, now he's won 2 since he left. So now I think it's a little bit, whose team is it really anymore? Is it Mbappe's or is it Dembele? So I think it'll be really interesting, and I think this World Cup's going to let us know.
And speaking of Mbappe, yes, that is definitely a player to watch. Here is Alicia Lewis.
Kylian Mbappe of France is a player to watch. He's representing his home country and right now plays for Real Madrid. Mbappe's 27 and has scored 56 international goals coming into the tournament. But he's really known for his incredible speed, often running faster than the world's top sprinters. He's also known for being a good guy, once donating his entire earnings from a major soccer competition to charity. He's an entrepreneur, one of the youngest owners of a pro football or soccer club in history, after buying a major stake into a French team when he was just 25. And take a good look. His nickname is Donatello. His former teammates think he looks like the character from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Is that a compliment? Maybe. And as promised, you mentioned the Houston matches. Here they are. 5, now down to 4 after this one over the weekend. Which one would you recommend fans see if they're not exactly the biggest soccer fan, or maybe if they are a true fan?
I think for me, the best game out of all of these is going to be this game here, which is going to be the Netherlands versus Sweden. I think if you're a big soccer fan and you just want to see Cristiano Ronaldo, obviously you can go watch Portugal play. But I think in terms of the actual, if you're a true soccer fan and you want to see a real good game, I think this game here is going to be one of the best games that are here in Houston.
We've also heard a lot about a certain fan group.
We did.
They are something, apparently.
They are. They bought their bus. They're ready to go.
And as I had mentioned before, you have played for Team USA, U20, U23, and then you have a cap with the women's national team in 2006. What is it like when you are wearing that uniform and the stakes are so high playing for your country? What is it like being at that level?
I mean, it's a dream come true. As a kid, when you play this game, that's what you dream of, right? Representing your country. So being given that opportunity, it's amazing, and I loved every bit of it. I started a little bit with the U16s, and then being able to play for a U20 World Cup in Russia was amazing. We didn't win. I won the bronze ball. I won the bronze ball, which is the 3rd best player in the tournament. So for me, that was an experience that I never had before. I'd been out of the country for a month playing in this amazing tournament. And then playing in the U23s, did a lot of Nordic Cups and won some of those. And then getting that chance to play with the full national team right before the 2007 World Cup. I was actually in residency with that camp as well, right before that World Cup, and just missed it, which was, I mean, at the time I was young, so I understood it. But again, as a kid, you want that opportunity, right, to go play. So to be able to put that jersey on, it's everything. It's everything a kid dreams of. And when I got that opportunity, I was so excited and took advantage of it. It's a privilege, right? And you wear that badge with an honor.
When you're preparing for a match, when you are playing for Team USA, or the moments before the match, does it feel different as a player?
Absolutely. I think it's because you know that everyone's watching and you know you're representing one nation versus maybe with your club, there's a lot of different nations mixed in, but knowing that I'm playing for the US women's national team or the U20 national team, I'm representing something that's bigger than myself. And so for me as a player, and now having to have the opportunity to coach players that are going and doing that, it's a really big honor, and it's important that everyone understands that.
As far as your Texas Southern group, first season, 8-7-4, what are your big takeaways from that season, and what will it take to get where you want to be?
Great leadership and a great core of seniors, right? A family. A year ago, they won the conference, in the SWAC conference, and so they were super excited this year to come back and win it again. Unfortunately, we fell short, but graduating 16 seniors, for them, it was everything you could dream of, right? For this last year, some of those kids had 3 coaches in 3 years. Some of them have had 3 coaches in 4 years. And so for them to now have an opportunity to play for someone who really wanted to be a part of this program, and myself, but also someone who has some experience, I think for them it was a dream come true, and we were able to play really well this season. Not quite the results we wanted, but had a good season overall.
And when you look at the style of play that your team plays with, and when you're out on the recruiting trail, what do you tell prospective players about how you want a game to go and how you want a game to look?
I think I tell them that we want to play. I think the biggest thing in the SWAC, the misconception is it's very direct, it's very physical, and we're going to bring in a playing style that's very comfortable, very confident on the ball, also just possession-based, and just want to have fun and play through all of the lines. I think sometimes it's how quickly can you get from the back to the front, and for us, it's going to be how can we get everyone involved on the way so that we can have some confidence when we get to the top. And so I think having told our recruits those things, they really want to come play because they're like, I want to come play. I want to be at an HBCU. I want to come play in the SWAC, but I want to play good soccer. And so I think we've been able to do that and bring that here. And so we're really looking forward to this season and this fall with a really, really young core.
It was great having you here, Danesha Adams, head coach, Texas Southern, and of course, someone who once wore red, white, and blue. Thanks for being with us on Extra Time.
Thanks for having me.
Who's qualified for the World Cup can hurt us.
And next, more on the U.S. as that group is back training. What is the team's mindset before playing the squad from down under and following the trail of cash? Still, is there a sleeper nation to bet on to win the World Cup? It's ahead on Extra Time. The U.S. off to an obvious fast start at the World Cup, and now comes the challenge of keeping the momentum going. The Americans returning to the training pitch today with Australia next on the schedule. John Howard has the latest from SoCal.
3 days removed from the Americans' most dominant performance in World Cup history, they have quickly turned the page and put Friday night's win against Paraguay in the rearview mirror.
And that's where the focus has to be. Every single day and every single training that we have now moving forward has to be preparation for Australia.
The matchup with the men from the land down under on Friday features the 15th ranked Americans against the 24th ranked Aussies. Team USA checks in as a half-goal favorite to win the match.
We analyzed that match. We're proud of what we did, but on to the next challenge.
These two teams played each other in a friendly last fall, with the United States trailing 1-0. Haji Wright scored 2 unanswered goals to give the U.S. the come-from-behind victory.
Well, I think we respect everybody in the competition. Any team who's qualified for the World Cup can hurt us, so I think we're aware of that. We want to be cautious but confident going into the game.
Haji scored 2 goals against Australia in the friendly last fall. How much does that build his confidence, and do you expect him to do something special again in this match coming up?
Yeah, I hope he can do something special. I mean, I'll take anyone doing anything special. Do you know what I mean? We rely on every single person in our squad, and whenever guys get a chance, they obviously have to be ready to step up. That being said, Haji's obviously an unbelievable player, and he's shown that again this year in the championship, and he's a huge factor to the reason they got promoted.
Stakes are high as the match features the top 2 teams in Group D. The winner clinches a spot in the knockout round. The loser faces an unknown future. While the Aussies impressed the world with their 2-0 win over Turkey over the weekend, the atmosphere Friday will be vastly different. Saturday they played on a neutral field in Canada. Friday they will play at Lumen Field in Seattle, which is known as one of the loudest stadiums in the world. Roars have been registered at 137 decibels. That is an advantage that will heavily favor the already favored Americans. With the U.S. soccer team in Irvine, California, I'm John Howard.
Thank you, John. If you want to know what people think will happen at the World Cup, follow the money. Prior to Monday's action, the odds makers had been backing Spain over defending champ Argentina. Paul Krishnamurti now from betonline.ag, joining us last week to explain why and whether odds makers are right to expect an offensive explosion. Total tournament goals, I see over under 275. That seems really high. I think the last tournament, the total goals was in the 170. Is this just simply because of the expanded field?
It is. I mean, there's more games, so absolutely it has to go up. But I agree with you. That is a high spread, especially once you get into the knockout stages. You don't get many goals generally. You get a lot of cagey defensive football. So I think I'd be an unders backer there by that too.
What has odds makers more convinced about Spain winning this entire thing than, say, the defending champ in Argentina?
I think, we respect Argentina. You always got to respect the South American teams. I think just right now you would look at Spain and France as being they're the top two teams in world football. They're the most reliable. And again, Spain have bags of pedigree, don't they, really, in major tournaments the last 20 years. And that's where the money is. That's where the money's come for them. They're the most popular, and I think we have to go with that.
Do any of these other contenders offer a pretty good value, possibly? Maybe Brazil or England?
See, I can't bring myself to say that England have got a good bet because I'm English and I'm an Arsenal supporter, and I understand it's in our psyche to be negative, right? And we never win these things, but we've done really well in recent tournaments. We've got a great side. We have got a chance. I've got a feeling we'll fall short again. Do you know who I would look at as the value personally? I'm not that I'm coming at this with any great expertise. I'm probably talking from my heart. I've always liked the Netherlands. I've always had a lot of time for the Netherlands. They've had to play some really great football over the years, had some great players. It's great seeing them back in it. And 20-1, that's a bet that could look like a bit of value at the end of the tournament.
So 1 year from now, what's more likely? Spain wins the World Cup, the United States reaches the quarterfinals, or a dark horse crashes the semifinals?
I would say a dark horse crashes the semi-finals, actually. Football's much more competitive. I mean, I'd get back to the USA thing. I don't think they're out of this at all. I don't think they'll win. I think they'd fall short somewhere. But I think with home advantage, they're more than capable of getting to that stage. And they're not the only ones. There are plenty of teams in that sort of 33-1 to 100-1 range that are capable of that run. And especially once you get in the knockout stages, where so many of these games end up with penalties, in which, for my money, anyone can win.
Paul, there's so many on the site, I can't even get to them all. Paul Krishnamurti, odds maker at betonline.ag. Thanks for joining us here on Extra Time.
Pleasure.
And here's the latest after today's action. France moving ahead of Spain on the board to win it all, followed by England and Portugal. Interesting. Next, goals are great, but let's talk tacos, barbecue, and everything in between. KHOU11 has a guide to eating your way through Houston during the World Cup. World Cup fans are coming to Houston from all over, and of course, that means they need to know where to eat. KHOU11's Jalissa Garza asking around the newsroom here for the Texas and Houston food spots visitors should try while they're in Houston.
All right, we are all talking about the World Cup, but when you're scrolling through social media, you're probably also noticing people talking about the tourists that are here in America for the World Cup trying different foods. So I wanted to go around our newsroom and ask what Texas food places, American food places, or Houston-specific food places they would recommend for anyone who's here visiting in Houston. Now, me specifically, I'm going to have to go with something local. I'm talking about Golden Seafood. That is one of my family's favorite restaurants for years and years. We still go to it all the time. Now let's go check out what the rest of the newsroom had to recommend.
Killen's Barbecue in Pearland, but if you don't want to make the drive, go to Truth Barbecue.
I would say Irma's, especially if you're downtown. Oh my gosh, it's so good. In fact, I want to go there now.
Tamashi Ramen. They have at least 4 locations across Houston. You have to check it out. And they have sushi.
Waffle House.
You go to H-E-B, get yourself their guacamole and their chips, and enjoy.
Let's do America, let's do Texas. You go to Buc-ee's and you get their beaver nuggets.
I think when you're in Texas, you gotta go with some Tex-Mex, so I think the Europeans need to check out El Tiempo, get a marg, get some chips and queso, go the full 9 yards, gotta do it.
You have to go to Taste of Texas. You have to get a steak because they'll let you go into their little butcher shop and pick your own steak that then the chefs will cook for you. And all of the sides are family style. They have a free salad bar. It's not super expensive. It's literally Taste of Texas.
I would say sushi. Houston's got really good sushi. Sushi masa, $35, all you can eat. Just saying.
I would definitely recommend going to Dandelion Cafe.
All right, my Houstonians, my Texans, let us know in the comments what place you would recommend for the tourists that are visiting for the World Cup.
And yes, thank you for all of that. Appreciate our friends weighing in. And still ahead, who needs luck when you have a duck? It's an introduction to Merlin, the viral sensation and quackiest fan from Mexico. Welcome back, or dare I say, welcome quack. In Mexico City, one of the world's most unlikely stars is Merlin the duck. This pet becoming a celebrity following his owner as she sells drinks through the city streets. Dressed in a Mexico jersey, Merlin has been seen in so many photos with fans waddling through the streets and the hearts of many. That's going to do it for us here on Extra Time. Special thanks to Coach Danesha Adams for stopping by. Make sure to catch us right here at the same time tomorrow here on the free KHOU11 streaming app. Let's close things out with this, what's being called the world's tallest skyscraper soccer salute, the Paramount World Center Tower in Miami. You see someone there kicking it up top? Yeah, that's pretty cool. We'll see you next time on Extra Time.